Let's start with our first news. Magomed Ankalaev has officially confirmed that his next fight is signed. Posting on X, Ankalaev wrote, "Contract signed. I miss dunking on people. See you soon." While the UFC has not revealed the opponent yet, the list of possible matchups is already getting fans excited. At light heavyweight, the top names currently available appear to be Paulo Costa and Khalil Rountree. Both fights would bring completely different challenges for Ankalaev. A fight with Costa would likely turn into pure chaos, with heavy pressure, explosive striking, and non-stop aggression. On the other hand, a matchup with Rountree could become a technical war on the feet, with serious knockout danger from both sides. Either way, Ankalaev returning to action immediately shakes up the entire 205-pound title picture and puts the division back in the spotlight. Meanwhile, Robert Whittaker has finally broken his silence on his upcoming fight against Nikita Krylov. Whittaker explained that his move to light heavyweight is something he is taking very seriously, especially after struggling with difficult weight cuts at middleweight. He revealed that the last few cuts drained his body badly, and that was one of the major reasons behind his decision to move up. Whittaker said he wants this new division to feel like a fresh start, a chance to enjoy fighting again without putting his body through extreme depletion. He also admitted he is curious to see how he performs on fight night without the exhausting middleweight cut affecting his energy. While fans are already discussing possible future fights against Alex Pereira, Whittaker made it clear his full focus is currently on Krylov, a dangerous and experienced opponent who will test him immediately in the new division. Move on to another news. Serious concerns are now growing around the UFC White House event, and now even Alex Pereira has reacted publicly to the situation. Pereira recently left a surprising comment under an Instagram post discussing the reported problems surrounding the event. His message was short, but it immediately caught the attention of fans everywhere. Pereira wrote, "Looks like the White House is a no-go." While this does not officially confirm that Pereira is pulling out or refusing to fight, it clearly suggests that he may not be fully comfortable with how things are developing behind the scenes. The UFC has been heavily promoting the idea of hosting a massive outdoor event connected to the White House, but logistical issues are now becoming impossible to ignore. One of the biggest concerns reportedly revolves around insects at the outdoor venue. According to Dana White, he recently attended a dinner inside the newly opened Rose Garden area and immediately noticed large swarms of gnats flying around the location. White explained that the situation became concerning almost instantly because UFC production relies heavily on powerful arena lighting during live events. Those bright lights could attract huge numbers of insects, including moths, gnats, and other bugs, potentially creating major problems during the fights. Imagine fighters trying to focus during a high-pressure main event while insects constantly fly into their faces under the lights. That possibility alone has reportedly become a serious issue for both the UFC production team and the fighters themselves. Dana White has historically been very cautious when it comes to outdoor events for exactly these kinds of reasons. Weather, lighting complications, unexpected distractions, and technical problems have always made outdoor cards far more difficult to manage compared to traditional indoor arenas. Now, with concerns about insects becoming public, fans are starting to question whether the White House event can realistically happen without major adjustments. Pereira's reaction only added more fuel to the growing uncertainty. As one of the biggest stars connected to the rumored event, his comments immediately sparked speculation online about whether fighters are starting to lose confidence in the entire setup. Even though the UFC has not made any official announcement regarding changes or cancellations, the pressure surrounding the event is clearly building fast. For now, the UFC appears to still be exploring solutions behind the scenes, but the concerns are becoming harder to ignore as more details continue to emerge. Move on to another news. Conor says he's better than ever and ready to remind the combat sports world exactly who he is. Conor is reportedly set to return from a 5-year layoff to face former featherweight and BMF champion Max Holloway in a rematch at UFC 329 on June 11th. Reacting to the announcement on social media, Conor expressed confidence about his comeback, claiming he is feeling energized and fully focused as he enters an intense training camp. He thanked fans for their support, saying he feels grateful for his team, coaches, and training partners. and described the gym atmosphere as fully locked in for the challenge ahead. Conor also highlighted sparring sessions with longtime training partners, noting that the sessions are being closely monitored by coaches as he pushes through high-level preparation. He stated that he believes he is better than ever and emphasized his desire to once again show his mastery in martial arts on the biggest stage. Following the emotional message, Conor ended his post with a brief expression of faith and motivation, saying he hopes to inspire the next generation through his return. Meanwhile, major roster changes have hit the UFC, with 4 fighters officially no longer part of the promotion. Top 15 bantamweight Ketlen Vieira has parted ways with the organization, despite recently picking up a win inside the octagon. Her departure adds to a growing list of exits as the UFC continues to reshape multiple divisions across the roster. These changes have sparked discussion among fans, as roster cuts and contract decisions continue to impact both rising prospects and established contenders. Some analysts believe the latest departures reflect a wider restructuring phase within the promotion, aimed at refreshing divisions and creating new matchup opportunities. The bantamweight division in particular is expected to see further movement, with fighters constantly being evaluated based on recent performances and overall activity levels. While no official reasons have been detailed for every departure, the organization is known for making swift decisions to maintain competitive balance across divisions. Fans are now closely watching how these roster adjustments will influence upcoming fight announcements and potential debut opportunities for new talent entering the promotion. As the UFC continues to evolve its lineup, attention now shifts back to upcoming events and potential blockbuster returns that could reshape multiple divisions in the coming months. Expect major updates soon as the fight landscape continues changing rapidly. Move on to another news. Ilia remains fully locked in on his path. He is set to face Justin Gaethje on the same card and has already started looking beyond that matchup. El Matador called out Ryan Garcia for a potential boxing crossover, saying he believes it would be a very comfortable fight for him and that he would break Garcia before it ever reaches a decision. The undefeated star made it clear that his focus remains on performance inside the cage, but the confidence in his voice has already sparked massive discussion across combat sports fans. He stated that while Justin Gaethje is a dangerous and explosive opponent, he feels completely prepared to handle the challenge and still move forward with bigger ambitions after the fight. According to Ilia, the idea of stepping into boxing is not just speculation, but a real possibility he is seriously considering for the future, especially if the right names and opportunities align at the right time. He believes a crossover fight with Ryan Garcia would generate massive global attention and deliver one of the most explosive striking matchups imaginable in combat sports. Fans have reacted strongly to the call-out, with many debating whether Ilia would actually carry his dominance into the boxing world or whether Ryan Garcia would present a completely different challenge under boxing rules. Regardless, the message is clear. Ilia is not interested in slowing down and continues to push for the biggest possible fights available on his rise through the sport. His confidence has also been reflected in training room reports, where coaches describe him as sharper, faster, and more composed than ever before, as he prepares for another high-level performance against Justin Gaethje. Insiders say his mindset remains completely locked in on finishing fights decisively and avoiding unnecessary risks inside the octagon. Meanwhile, the boxing discussion continues to grow as Ryan Garcia has yet to respond directly, but interest around the potential clash is already building momentum across social media platforms and fight analysis communities worldwide. Promoters are also watching closely, as a matchup of this magnitude could reshape both the boxing and MMA landscape, generating massive revenue and global attention if it ever moves from talk into reality. For now, Ilia stays focused on Justin Gaethje, while keeping his eyes firmly on bigger challenges ahead in combat sports' evolution scene, unfolding world. Move on to another news. Ryan Garcia has fired back at Ilia following the recent call-out that sparked major attention across combat sports. Garcia reacted on X with a sharp and confident message aimed directly at Ilia, dismissing the idea of a boxing crossover while also warning him about what would happen inside the ring. He acknowledged Ilia's striking ability in MMA, but made it clear he does not see it translating the same way under boxing rules. Ryan wrote that Ilia is a damn good striker for MMA, but followed it immediately by saying, "That's it." The message was blunt and carried a clear tone of confidence, suggesting that he believes the difference between MMA striking and elite boxing is far too large for Ilia to overcome in a pure boxing environment. He continued his response with an even more aggressive warning, stating that Ilia would not be sipping on tea after their fight. Instead, Ryan claimed he would be eating through a straw if they ever met inside the ring. The comment quickly spread across social media, intensifying the back and forth between fans of both fighters. Garcia then shut down the idea of crossover debate by saying, "Stay in your lane, I'll gladly stay in mine." The statement was direct and final, signaling that he is not interested in negotiations or fantasy matchups at this stage. His response reflects a strong belief in maintaining the separation between boxing and MMA competition, especially when discussing elite-level fighters from each sport. The exchange has added even more fuel to the growing discussion around Ilia's ambitions beyond MMA. While Ilia has been openly confident about potential crossover opportunities, Ryan's response brings a clear challenge and reminder of the technical differences in boxing at the highest level. Fans online have already begun debating the exchange, with some praising Ryan's confidence and others arguing that Ilia's striking pressure and aggression could still create serious problems in a boxing ring despite the rule differences. For now, both fighters remain focused on their own divisions, but the tension created by this call-out and response has ensured that the conversation around a potential crossover clash continues to grow rapidly across the combat sports world. Move on to another news. Carlos Prates has surprisingly thrown his name into the Ilia conversation with a bold call-out aimed at a future welterweight showdown. Carlos made it clear that his immediate focus is on becoming welterweight champion first, but once he reaches the top, he wants to directly call out Ilia and challenge him to move up to 170. He did not hesitate when speaking about the idea of welcoming one of the UFC's most dangerous finishers into a higher weight class, showing full confidence in his own size and power advantage at welterweight. However, this call-out does not fully align with Ilia's previous statements. Ilia has already made it clear that if he ever moves up in weight, it would be for a very specific reason: a super fight with Islam Makhachev. He has shown no interest in staying long-term at welterweight or building a career in that division, especially with the massive size difference and the level of athletic pressure present at 170. Stylistically, that hesitation makes sense. The welterweight division is stacked with big, explosive, high-volume fighters like Michael Morales, Ian Machado Gary, and Carlos Prates himself. Against that kind of size and pace, Ilia would be facing a major physical disadvantage compared to what he is used to at featherweight and lightweight, where his strength and pressure have looked overwhelming. Carlos doubled down on the idea, saying that once he gets the belt, he would happily call Ilia out and push for that crossover fight. He made it clear he is not afraid of the matchup and believes it would be a massive money fight with global attention. In his words, it would be about getting the belt and then maybe asking if he wants to come to 170, framing it as a high-stakes showdown if Ilia ever agrees to move up. He added that it would be a true super fight, emphasizing the entertainment and financial value of such a clash. During the discussion, he also reacted to Ilia's physical dimensions, pointing out the height difference and suggesting it would be a major factor in a potential fight. He claimed Ilia is around 5'7", while he stands significantly taller at welterweight, making the size gap a key talking point in the debate. Carlos also mentioned that official listings can sometimes be inaccurate, stating that while the internet may list certain numbers, he believes his real height is closer to 190, reinforcing his belief that the physical mismatch would heavily favor him in a welterweight clash. Move on to another news. Tom Aspinall has given his prediction for the upcoming Alex Pereira versus Ciryl Gane matchup, and his breakdown is already sparking debate across the heavyweight division. The current heavyweight champion made it clear that while it is still uncertain who he will face in his next title defense, he is expecting Ciryl Gane to come out on top. Gane is set to face Alex Pereira for an interim heavyweight belt at the UFC White House card on June 14th, a fight that has become one of the most anticipated clashes in the division. Speaking on a recent episode of the Fight Your Corner podcast, Tom Aspinall shared a detailed analysis of the matchup before revealing his prediction. He explained that Alex Pereira has been extremely dominant in recent fights, but he believes there is an important context behind that success. According to him, Pereira has been finishing opponents who are often smaller or less durable at the weight, which may have amplified his knockout ability. Aspinall suggested that a major factor in Pereira's knockout streak is his size advantage over many of his opponents, which allows him to generate significant power. However, he pointed out that Ciryl Gane presents a very different challenge compared to previous opponents. He highlighted Gane's experience against elite heavyweights, mentioning that he has taken shots from some of the division's biggest punchers without being stopped. Aspinall referenced Gane's ability to withstand heavy offense in long fights, suggesting that his punch resistance at heavyweight could be more reliable than many expect. He also noted that Pereira has traditionally been most effective against opponents who stand still or do not move much, particularly in lighter divisions like middleweight and light heavyweight. In contrast, Gane is a large, mobile heavyweight who moves fluidly, controls distance well, and constantly shifts angles during exchanges. According to Aspinall, this movement could create serious stylistic problems for Pereira, making it harder for him to land his usual power shots cleanly. He emphasized that Gane's footwork, range control, and ability to stay elusive could neutralize some of Pereira's biggest strengths. In the end, Aspinall leaned toward Gane in the matchup, stating that stylistically, it is a favorable fight for him based on movement, durability, and heavyweight experience.